Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of the BU Show, where we are unapologetically unique and here just to spend some quality time with you. I'm your host, Sonia.
And I'm your co-host, Jen.
And today we have our mugs ready. And we have a simple question because, we pulled our mugs out this morning and Jen said to me,
Sonia, are you a dog or a cat person?
And I said, I'm a cat person. It was just kind of funny how we both had that. Anyways, today we want to welcome a guest who I want to share with you. I had the privilege of meeting online. So Jen and I have talked many times about the connection between her and I is only online. We have never met in person. But our guest today, I had met approximately 15 years ago online, shortly after my car accident. And while I was recovering from a brain injury, I had joined an online health group. And I met this woman in this group and we connected. And then we actually met in person when we went to San Diego. And she participated in a mud run, which was absolutely incredibly amazing to watch because I couldn't participate at that particular time. But I was like the official camera person. And I have kept in contact with her over the years and watched her grow and do various things in business. And so today we want to welcome our guest, Kate Moir. Welcome, Kate.
Hi.
Welcome, Kate.
Oh my gosh, that was a lifetime ago, 15 years.
I know. Well, we're still somewhat teenagers, right? So
we're only as old as we feel, right? So I feel pretty good.
That's awesome. No, I remember that retreat. I believe you and Chad had just gotten engaged or were about to get it was so long ago. But tell us a little bit about yourself. Give us an introduction.
So in 15 years, I've switched and pivoted to an entrepreneur from a government employee and been able to raise our two little girls. They're now almost 7 and 5, and we have built our dream house where he grew up in a small town, central Canada, and life is pretty good. I really have no complaints. So, and that fitness journey is a lifelong journey. It doesn't ever stop. You always are working on, that pillar of your health, your wealth, your family, and all the different things.
That is true. And we've always talked about that personal development and growth continues and how valuable and important it is. And I do not have any children, so I cannot relate to this at all, the chaos that you and Jen go through. But Jen, I know you as a single mom and your daughter has got lots of energy. And so I know you have a couple quick questions that you're very curious about how Kate handles in her business.
Oh, I can relate to Kate so much. I got a 7-year-old too, so totally can relate. But being an entrepreneur myself, you have built your business from the ground up. How do you balance raising a kid and your business? Because as parents, men or women, trying to build a business and raising a family, it is hard. So how do you manage that all?
Yeah, I would say setting time blocks is my secret power. So, I now am coaching business owners and direct sellers on time management and really getting laser focused. And so I believe in the power of time blocking and doing the things that move the needle the most first, and then kind of doing all the other little things, because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that if you're an entrepreneur, you did it because you wanted the flexibility or you wanted the freedom for your time and to spend more time with the family. So it's really easy to work like a lot. And that's not why I went into entrepreneurship. I went into entrepreneurship to spend more time with my family and to be more available.
Now, Another question is that a lot of people have when they think of owning their own business or the direct sellers and stuff. It is scary. It is for a lot of people. When did you make that pivot from working that government job to running it full time?
Well, I'll never forget that day. We were growing so fast. I was on maternity leave when I really grew my business. And so we went from 4 people to 75 people in 10 months. And then we doubled again in another 6 months. So we were at 150. So here I am working a full-time job, running this business full-time in the evenings. As soon as the kids went to bed, I started to work 8 to 11, 12 o'clock at night. And my husband would come into the office and say, are you still staying up or are you coming to bed? I'm like, I still have to do lunches, laundry, dishes. Like, unless you would like to do any of that, I still have my work to do as a mom. And at that point in time, it was like a switch went off. I was like, wait a second, like this is wrong. Like, we need more balance. And if I continue on this pace, I am not going to survive. Something's going to fall apart, and it was probably going to be me. And so at that moment, we decided to go and talk to our financial advisor and get some advice on how could I make that transition. And he was able to help me kind of create a plan. So a month later, when my boss ripped me up and down a new one, I just quit. And that was it. It was done. I was done. So it was such a great feeling of empowerment that here I had the escape route that most people did not have. Because I had diversified my income, I could say, see you later, when most people don't have that option because that is their only source of income. So I truly am a believer in diversification because worst case scenario, it pays for your cell phone. Best case scenario, it allows you the freedom or the flexibility to say, I'm putting myself first.
Yeah. Jen and I both, being entrepreneurs and coming out of that background, we value what you're saying because it is 100%. And sometimes when people get into a direct sales business, they go into it with a step of fear, and they also don't go into it with a big enough vision. Because, they just think of it as, quote, a side job. And yet you and I and Jen, we all know that quickly, with a little bit of effort and hard work, you can find yourself building your sales and really like focusing on that, but actually working less, like harder. What is that phrase? Work
harder, not harder.
That's the one. Yeah. It's early for me still. So, I would like you to just kind of give our viewers a few tips on how you really zoned in on making that happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I base my whole business on the 12-week year. It's a great book by Brian Moir, and it really talks about the principle of seasonal goal setting and looking at each week as if it was a month. So most of the time people say, oh, by next year, I want to hit this rank or make this much or achieve this goal. And he suggests, well, what if you did it in a season or faster? And how much faster or stronger could you grow as a business owner, or your fitness goals or your financial goals, whatever your goal is, how much faster could you reach it if you broke it down into a shorter time frame? And so just even using that as a model, I was able to increase my income by 800% online this last year by working 75% less, which then allowed me to diversify again and create my coaching, and then now diversify again and try something new because I'm continually building that diversification on our income.
Now, Kate, Jen, I heard you say in the beginning, and I know exactly where you live. You're not in a large metropolis area where you are constantly, finding, quote, new people to connect with. It's
a town of 3,500.
Yeah.
It's over to the nearest city. You gotta drive. You wanna go anywhere.
So in the last show, Jen and I had talked about the use of the internet and how this pandemic season has really brought that learning curve out for a lot of people. And obviously, this is something that as entrepreneurs, we are learning and embracing more and more. Would you not agree?
Oh, absolutely. The people who came out with COVID ahead are the people who pivoted, as a snap of their fingers. I could take a week to kind of wallow about all the, in-person events I had to cancel, but that wasn't going to pay my bills if I stayed there. I had to pivot and adapt and overcome the obstacle of social retail or social marketing, because that was the only way to sustain my business through the last 20 months now, right? So it's been an adventure.
Yeah. Now you offer an amazing program for entrepreneurs who want to learn more and stuff. Can you tell us about this? And I'm going to share your website with our viewers and everything like that, because as an entrepreneur myself, as someone who's running a business, I think what you have to offer is amazing. So tell us about this program that you have.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. So I do focus on 12 weeks. And so we want to systemize, we want to streamline, and then we want to duplicate. And so if we can get those systems up and running, you are going to be able to work smarter, not harder. That is my main mission. My mission is not to be somebody's coach for life, because I want them to have the tools and the capacity to have those systems that they can rinse and repeat. So I'm now working with business owners. So I have a client in another province, and they are not with direct sales, and we are already systemizing, and instantly she realized she had more work on her to-do list than time to do. And at the end of the week, when we evaluated, she had only done 1/10 of the work on her list, because life happens and the phone calls come in and the emergencies come up. And so really then we need to be realistic with how much actual time we have to work, and being realistic with our expectations and our focus. And so we like to break it down. And so I have coaching one-on-one with clients that really want to level up in a season. And they're like, it's not one day, it's day one. I need to do this, like a health plan, right? Just the same thing. It's like, okay, Monday, you never miss a Monday. You never miss a Monday with your business. You always set your intention on Mondays. And then I have a group coaching. And so that's really designed for direct sellers, whether they're party plan or not party plan, to brainstorm and to level up together. And then we just have the people who are in the free group on Facebook. So it's just for people who are just curious, but not really ready to take that step to invest in their business.
That is awesome. Well, I know today I learned a lot from you and stuff. And one thing as an entrepreneur, as a mom, it is about making sure you have those time blocks, because without that, you'd be lost. And especially, I can't even imagine having the two. Having the one for me is like, whoo. So, Sonia, is there anything else?
Well, this is something that has been kind of on my mind and a lot is, and maybe the pandemic brought it out, or maybe just because I personally had a season of grief and loss, but the impact that we make as entrepreneurs, and I liked your business title, Impact Over Image, because we're unapologetically unique. Like, let me tell you, some days what you get isn't the prettiest, or, we don't try to be like anybody else. Jen and I always just say, here we are, but we are really creating the future. And for both of you having young ones, I mean, it's a legacy. Your children are learning valuable skills and gifts and abilities. And I guess what I'm curious to know, or would even just love to hear your thoughts on, what that impact looks like in today's world, because we know things are changing fast all the time. So,
yeah, I think the impact is, especially as a woman, I would say, like, statistically speaking, most direct sellers are women. You're already wearing multiple hats. You're probably working a job. You may or may not be a mother or a caregiver. You've got a busy life, and to fit it all in, yet we add this extra thing, and think, okay, like I need the extra money for a cell phone or a car payment or hydro, or saving up for something for the kids, or paying for the kids this or that. And so I think that we have to overcome that guilt. It's okay to do something for ourselves. It's okay to do something that brings us joy, or brings that layer of fun, or gives us that personal development that we may or may not be receiving from other avenues. And it's okay to say, I want to do this, and I want to dream big. And so yesterday as a family, about 30 days ago, just a little bit more, I started a new thing because I wanted to try. I wanted to put my systems to test. I thought, okay, if I was to completely pivot and just test my systems, do they actually work for a new person? So I started something new and they worked. We went up by 4 levels within 30 days. And now I'm like, okay, we're going to hit another goal this month. And our family is dreaming. Like, what does that look like for our family? You know, what does it look like for me as a person from our time and our perspective? Because it's great. Like, it gives you a different sense of energy to be able to say, this is possible. And if I do this, it's going to result in that. And know that your efforts will be rewarded.
Yeah. I think, like we talk about in our community a lot, having a place of belonging. And we are hoping that a lot of our viewers and people that, you know, join our community here on YouTube will take a lot of value out of what we share, but also, you know, things that you're sharing, like having that, you know, that sense of purpose and that energy that you get when you have a vision is so important. And I don't think there's enough of that in our world today. So I think if people are connecting with the right people, because we know that there are always those groups that are fake it till you make it kind of groups. And that is not Jen and I. So that is not something we promote. And I know your authenticity, Kate. I've seen you, you know, work hard and build over the years. And I know how precious your family is to you. So thank you for taking some time with us today, for just giving some insights to our viewers. We always say how grateful we are, how excited we are to be able to do this, because this was a part of our vision, creating this platform where people can just kind of pick and choose and learn and grow. And if any of our listeners, you know, are looking for personal coaching, all of us are open. Certainly Kate's program is amazing from what we have seen online. And I love the fact that you put it to the test yourself. I knew you were planning on doing that. You and I had kind of talked online about it, but I know that you're also a woman, when you go after something, you do it with your whole heart and all of your energy. So thank you for setting that example for many of us entrepreneurs. I think it's just awesome. So Jen?
And real quick before we end, for those who are on the fence about going into direct sales, what are 2 things that you would tell someone who is on the fence right now today?
I say, well, why not? What's the worst case scenario, right? I always say to people, I'm like, it's not like you're buying a franchise.
Yes.
You know, you're not buying a car. You know, it's like probably the equivalent of a dinner out for most companies. It's not very expensive to get started. So why not? Worst case scenario, you're going to have a little bit of fun. But what's the best case scenario? Like, I want you to dream, because I can tell you it's 100% possible. If you're willing to dream, have that vision, like Sonia said, have that vision of what's possible, and dedicate and be consistent. I think that's the thing, is most people think that they have to do it for life. It's like, I say, just try it on for a season. Try it on for a season or a reason and see where it goes. But why the heck not?
And I think you were right there, is being consistent. I think as entrepreneurs, there's so many things out there for us to look at. And there's Facebook, there's YouTube, there's Instagram. You need to be comfortable and be consistent in that one area, and then work your way out. And I think what you've presented today is just amazing. And that time management key is perfect. I want people, if you guys are interested in reaching out and learning more about Kate's program, or want to talk to her even more, we've placed her website below. So make sure you jump over there. And Sonia and I are always here to help you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share our Facebook page below. And Kate, thank you for taking time out of your busy day with your family to join us today. We truly, truly appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, you guys. Sonia, let's raise a glass. And I know, Kate, you've got a glass there too. So let's raise our glass to everyone. You guys have a great one. Thanks for joining us today. Bye.
Bye.